Nelson, you found gold when you hired June. Who's June? Well, pre-pandemic, I was looking to hire a good operations manager. When I hired June, I got an excellent operations manager. He exceeded all our expectations. And then at one time, my boss and I sat in one of the operations review meeting. Now, mind you, we are in packaging, but June came from the semiconductor industry. So he's able to bring in the best practices, the mindset, the discipline, and the systems into our plant. And when he presented his report, my boss and I were blown away. For starters, he took the liberty to revamp our KPIs. Whatever KPI we already have, he was able to fine-tune them so that we can have more analytics and therefore have better action plans. What's more, he put in new KPIs to cover our blind spots and improve operations better. He also touched upon his vision for the plant, including plans and programs, specific ones, and also mentoring program for our people. I was thinking, wow, what a fantastic operations manager I found. And after the meeting, my boss echoed the sentiment. That's when he said, Nelson, you found gold when you hired June. You're so smart in hiring him. I was thinking, well, smartness doesn't really have to do with it, because we can hear of smart people who are poor leaders, smart people who have poor choices in their people. And therefore, it's probably less of being smart, but more of being confident. And this is where we have that thin but crucial slice of leadership. We have been to several webinars about charisma, competence, critical thinking, character. I'd like us to touch upon this other slice called confidence. What is confidence? Well, the way I would define it is this. A confident leader is one who is so secure with himself and that frees him to not be threatened by feedback, even pushback. He also accepts responsibility when things go wrong rather than blame and shame. Another one, he would pursue the organization's agenda, not his own. No hidden agenda. He's really out for his employer's benefit and interests. And what's more, he gives credit where credit is due. He doesn't mind sharing the glory, or better yet, giving the glory to somebody else. And perhaps this is the best of all for you and me. The confident leader builds up your own confidence. Wouldn't you want to work with a guy like that? Wouldn't you want to have that kind of a mentor? And here comes one principle. Find a competent leader to work for, and you won't even feel like work. Every morning you go to the office or your workplace, your plant, your school, your clinic, your church, it's a joy. You look forward to the day to work for such an inspiring, caring, confident leader. Better yet, why not? As you grow in your own leadership journey, why not be the confident leader yourself? And therefore, what would it take to have that kind of a confidence? And today I'm going to share 3 particular standout traits. If or when you're able to choose your own boss, and as you develop yourself as a leader, try to look for these 3 traits. Let me ask a diagnostic question. Would you hire this man as your direct report? You're looking for an EA, operations manager, maybe somebody in terms of, let's say, think tank. And this guy comes to you and says, boss, I need a job. It's Albert Einstein. Work with me here. So if Albert Einstein were to ask you to work for you direct, would you take him? Some of you may say, yes, I'll grab him right away. But if there's some of you who are so hesitant, maybe feel intimidated, that is a ground for a coaching session wherein we explore why. Why would you hesitate? Why would you feel intimidated? Is it like, I'm afraid that if I go side by side with him, I look dumb by comparison? So, and that's where we also can have a flip of thinking by which you'll be able to use this relationship with Albert Einstein to your advantage. But that means the first thing is The confident leader hires people smarter than they are. When my boss told me, Nelson, you found gold in June. You're very smart in hiring him. You know what was my reply? I said, I believe in hiring people smarter than I am. Because look, water cannot rise above its own level. And therefore, there's only a limit by which I can be as smart as I can be. And therefore, to improve my operations and to have a multiplier effect, I should have people smarter than I am, having water level higher than mine, and everybody rises up to the occasion. Think about this way. Do you have people wherein you need certain talent, you need certain skills, you need certain experiences, but you don't? Some people, the insecure leaders, would do like this. I must show that I know everything. Because the moment they may feel like this, the moment my people or upper management realize that I don't know everything, they may think I'm no good. They may even take me out of the job. That's the insecure leader. But the confident leader is comfortable with ignorance. He admits that he doesn't know all the answers, but he knows the people who have the answers. And that's why he's willing, even eager, to work with people smarter than they are. That's trait number one. Are you a leader? Do you look for people smarter than you? If so, I look forward to a blossoming operation. And in terms of building up your team, one bonus tip is this. As you assemble your team, or maybe as you interview your next boss, ask this great question. What can I learn from this person? When I interviewed Jun Singson, in the interview phase itself, I asked him situational questions. And from there alone, I had ideas how to do my work better. And so perhaps in some insecurity, you switch to curiosity, and by which you'll be able to welcome new ideas, radical concepts, and even changing the environment altogether. Because you're comfortable working with people sharper, smarter, better, quicker than you are. That's trait number one. The second one is confident leaders let others shine brighter than them. I hope this is not your case, but have you ever worked for a boss who tend to belittle you, micromanage you, tell you what to do, because at least he'll get the credit. Oh, you succeed because of me. Oh, you should never outshine me, never wound a king. But the confident leader is not afraid to bring people up and then therefore have all the glory. When I talked to my boss, I said, I believe in hiring people smarter than I am. And I added, and I get out of the way. Notice, the confident leader gives people the goals, but he doesn't tell them what to do because he trusts them, having their innate expertise to do the job and perhaps even surprise them. And so the organization flourishes when people are given autonomy, a sense of ownership, and with a corresponding affirmation that doing a great job. And what happens is a virtuous spiral going up, that the more people, the followers succeed better and better, more and more, the more want to succeed further. And guess who sits pretty? Guess one who is relatively stress-free? A confident leader. It's a triple win. The boss, the followers, the organization. And that's where now we have this other concept wherein we have this insecure leader saying, I must show that I'm better than anyone. I'm the king. I'm the star. But no, the confident leader says, no, my people are the stars. And my role is to have this chance for them to shine. And also, let upper management know about them. I was talking to one of my direct reports, that's another story, and he had two supervisors. And this supervisor was shining brightly, and I told my operations manager, you had supervisor number one, you're promoting him before our senior management. I want you to promote the other guy, two of them. Don't choose favorites. And so that's where now we all have this mindset. We don't mind if people get ahead further compared to us. when people get elevated in the organization faster than we are, or better yet, they have our jobs. In one of my plants, I have this particular Filipino slogan, and it's like the culture change I'm implementing. And it goes like this: ang tagumpay ng isa ay tagumpay ng lahat. One person's victory is everybody's victory. And because of that, we're able to pull ourselves up. The cure, the antidote to crab mentality. Oh, bata-bata, because he's a backer, he has this favoritism, he's getting away with sloppiness. No, everybody begins to share victories, and we had our own celebration. Just a while ago, one of my plant people had this crisis where we have a machine breakdown, and they spent the whole night, puyatan, to fix it. And so what did I do? Not only did I thank them, I authorized go buy pizza, my treat. And that's where we have the confident leader, letting people shine, getting them out of their comfort zone and bring them into their success zone. So that then, when they win, everybody wins. And yes, even the leader. And so what happens is that, ask yourself, what makes Mr. X, this person, this key person, the guy smarter than you, render his best work? See, many times we tend to think about motivation in a blanket level. I would like to have a company employment engagement program. What's the thing we have to do? What's the big gimmick? And what I found out is this: it is better to go one-on-one. Early on, when I took over my factory, I had one-on-ones with my direct report. And one question was this: already I'm coaching them. What makes you happy at your work? Because if I know what makes them happy in their work, then that will make them do their best work. And so I get at least two responses. One, I found happiness when I learn, when I get better in my skill. Second, I get happiness when I work with friends. These are my buddies at the workplace. And so I then be able to adjust the levers accurately. For group one, I would make sure I give them ample training program and give them recognition. The other one will be to create camaraderie, to create, let's say, birthday bashes, outings, salo-salo, kamustahan. And because of that, we're able to motivate each one distinctively. And so the confident leader is not afraid to sit back, let go of his presuppositions, and then let people shine, because that's the way they want to do it. Now, let's look at the third one. Confident leaders are not afraid of letting key people go. What happened to June? You may wonder. He resigned. That's how good he was. He was headhunted. And one day he got an offer that we cannot match. And so I was thinking that, boy, I was thinking of pleading, hang on to him. Don't go, because you made so much contribution to the plant. We need you here. But no, the confident leader is not afraid of letting people go. So the insecure leader says, if I lose this key person, all is lost. No, the confident leader says, I'm not held hostage. I will refuse to be held hostage to anyone. It seems to sound like nobody's indispensable. When I think about it, it is like I'm so confident that I can even flourish even without you. So that then I have flexibility, I have freedom. And what happens is this: we have fallbacks. So when June left, remember, he had mentoring programs. We were so fortunate that he implemented systems. Bonus tip: run your organizations not on people, but on systems. And when he left, the system is still running. All the KPIs, all the plans and programs, all the Kaizen, all the TPM, all the mentoring, to the point that our supervisors, his direct reports, were able to go on. And one of those supervisors stood up. He also was a confident leader. He was grooming his technicians. And guess what? When that guy left, June left, we were now looking for the replacement. That supervisor was promoted. He took his place. And when you have all those fallback, those deep benches, those plan B, You can be sure that you're not going to be rattled. You can still have business continuity. No such really regrettable loss because you have always people at your back to sustain the business even when they're gone. And that gives you the ability to sleep well at night. So, one other thing, I was listening to my boss and saying I loved his concept in the operations review. And I have to make an admission. There was a time in that meeting that I was a bit afraid because I was afraid my boss will say something like this: Nelson, you found a gold mine in June, but shouldn't you know all these things ahead of time? Shouldn't you have known better? Shouldn't you be implementing them, not June? But mercifully, he didn't ask the question. I have such a good boss. But then when I realized, I admit that I should have known all of that, but here comes the other thing. I know things that June does not know. And I have authority that June does not have. Because of that, we're able to work better together. And because of that, let us now conclude this talk like this. Are you looking for a confident leader? Do you want to have a terrific boss? Do you want to be the confident leader yourself? Here are the three things. 1, you hire people smarter than you are. 2, you're not afraid to let those people shine brighter than you. Be generous in terms of sharing the limelight, or better yet, giving them the limelight. Commend them highly to upper management. Last but not least, when it's time for them to go, greener pastures or for cause, don't be afraid, because the best people are still in the wings. And I do hope that when you practice these three things, hire people smarter than you, let others shine brighter than you, and you're not afraid of letting key people go, may the employer say, I found gold in you. Be the confident leader. Be the gold that your employer, your organization desperately needs.